Okay, now let's see November 2021 Neco question, okay, for economics. And let's see the first question for Neco 2021. So we have the table below shows the hypothetical marks scored by economics students in their promotion examination, okay. Now the marks are stated there 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. While the number of students, as the frequency is 10, 8, 20, 13, 6, and 3. The first question said, calculate the arithmetic mean. The second question said, determine the variance and the standard deviation. And the third question said, state two disadvantage of what? The standard deviation. Okay? Now, I want to start by solving this. Now, they said we should calculate the arithmetic mean. Now, first of all, the arithmetic mean, that's the first one. The mean can be given as the bar x symbolically. Now, since we are given frequency, we have to formula for mean. The first one is sigma fx over sigma f, or sigma x over n. Now, this means summation of the multiplication of f and x divided by n, summation f, and this is summation x over n, the number of the observation. Now this is used when frequency is given, and this is used when we have individual items. So since we have frequency, it means this is our formula for the mean. Okay, so it means we are going to draw a table whereby we have the multiplication of f and x. So we have a table like this. First one is our max. So the max is denoted as x. The second one is our frequency. Now we have fx. So our x we have 20, second one we have 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. Okay? Now the frequency we have 10, we have 8, we have 20, we have 13, we have 6, and we have 3. Now to get fx, it means multiplication of f and x. So 20 times 10 will give us 200. 30 times 8 will give us 240. 40 times 20 will give us 800. 800. And 50 times 13 will give us 650. 60 times 6 will give us 360. And 70 times 3 will give us 210. Okay? So that is that. Now, the next thing we have to do is to add up. It up. Okay? Now, if we add it up, if we add all the frequency, it should give us 60. That sigma f is 60. Adding up all the frequency. And add up all the fx, sigma fx, it should give us 2560. Okay? So, therefore, our mean, which is by s, which is sigma fx over sigma f, is equal to 2560 over, this is 60. So 2560 divided by 60, we have 42.666, can approximate to 42.7. Okay, so that's the first one, the arithmetic mean. Now let's get the variance. Now the variance is a square of the standard or deviation. Okay? Now the variance can also be given as sigma f x minus bar x over sigma f. That is when it's given in what frequency, since we are not using frequency. Okay? So these are the frequency. So it means we have to also add some. We have to also add some other columns to this table. Okay? So to add another part which is x minus bar x. So I have this. Then we'll add another one also, which is bar x all squared frequent. So now when we minus the mean, x minus bar square multiplied by so x. Each ratio we subtract what the mean. So it means the first one 20 minus 42.7. Okay, so we'll have minus 20 minus 42.7, we'll have minus 22.7. 30 minus 42.7, because this side say x minus bar s, we have minus 12.7. 40 minus 42.7, we have minus 2.7. 50 minus 42.7, we have positive 7.3. 60 minus 42.7, we have 17.3. 70 minus 42.7, we have 27.3. Hope you know the reason why we are subtracting it. The column said x minus the mean. So these are the x subtracting the mean, the final answer of the mean. Okay? So this part now will now have to give us all this value we've gotten here, the square. Okay? We'll get the square, and what the answer we have from the square, when you square this value now, you multiply it by f, which is the frequency. So the calculator, if you don't have a calculator, get so that you can also confirm what we're doing. So whenever you're putting this to get this, if you don't put it in it, if you do it like this, minus 22.7 and add square, it will still give you a negative value, which is wrong. So put it in a bracket in your calculator, do the square of this, then the answer, multiply it by f, which is the frequency at all times. So the first one, if we do that, we'll have 515, 2.9. The second one, minus 12.7 square. The answer will get multiplied by 8. We'll have 1290.3. The third one, we have minus 2.7 the square. The answer will get multiplied by 20. We have 145.8. The next one is 7.3 square. The answer will get multiplied by 13. We have 692.8. The next one, 17.3 square. The answer you get multiplied by 6. We have 1795.7. This one, 27.3. The answer you get, square it. The answer you get multiplied by 3. You have 2235.9. Okay, so now if we add up all this, add it up, we'll have 113.4 approximately. Okay, so our variance now will be summation f this, which is this part, because this summation means addition of all this, which is this answer. So I have 113.4 divided by summation f with the frequency, which is 60. So this divided by this will have from our calculator as 1188.6 approximately. That's II. Okay. The next one, III, is standard deviation. Standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Okay. So it's given as square root of summation f x minus bar x squared over summation f as the square root of whatever you have in what variance. So to make our answer fast, since we have this the same thing as this, so we'll just get the square root of this answer. So we have square root of this answer, which is 188.6 equal 13.7. Okay, so it's 13.7. So that is the standard deviation. Okay, so the third question says state two disadvantage of standard deviation. Two disadvantage. And the first one is to some extent, if you're not conversant with the formula, it is difficult to calculate. Okay, it's difficult to calculate. That's one of the disadvantages. And unlike the mean, that are straightforward. Okay. The second one is that it does not give the full range of what data. It does not give the full range of what the data used. Okay. So that is the two disadvantages as per this question. So that is the first question from Neco 2021. Now let's see the second question. Okay, now let's see Neco 2021, the second question. Now the question said, given that the income of Mr. Dantani increases from 2,000 naira to 5,000 naira as a result of new minimum wage, okay, and his demand for milk increased from 10 to 20 tins, okay. Now it said A, calculates the coefficient of his income elasticity of demand, okay, and B, what is the nature of the elasticity in A above, okay. First question said we should calculate the coefficient of his income elasticity of demand. The second question said what is the nature. The third one, what kind of food is milk to Mr. Dantani, and D, state 4 factors that affect change in demand. And to solve this, you also need what? A knowledge of demand. Okay, check in my YouTube channel, The King's Tutor. We're on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, Instagram. Okay, so just type The King's Tutor. It will be what? Open. Please subscribe when you do that. It is free. Just subscribe so that you get updated and learn more. Okay, thank you. Now let's solve this. Now we have solution. So the question says, given that the income of this, now I want to calculate the coefficient of income elasticity of demand. Now, income elasticity, because in economics, Y is denoted as income, is given as percentage change in quantity demanded or demand over percentage change in income. Okay, that is, it's given as percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in income. Okay, so coefficient of income elasticity is the percentage change. Okay, is given as the responsiveness of demand to change in the income. Why do consumers change their demand when there's a change in income? We want to say how they react to the quantity they demand when there's a change in their income. So the formula is given as percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. Okay, why the first one, percentage change in quantity demanded, is equal to the new quantity minus the old quantity divided by the old quantity times 100 over 1. Okay? Why? This also gives percentage change in income is the new income. Remember I said Y denotes income in economics. The new income minus the old income divided by the old income times 100 over 1. Okay? That's new minus old. Now you have to be careful to detect which is new. Now the new quantity, watch. We said, given that the income of Mr. Dantani increased from 2,000 to 5,000, that is income, as a result of his new minimum wage, and his demand for milk increased from 10 to 20, from to. So it means The new one is 20. Why the old is 10? Because they say it moved from 10 to 20 tins of what milk as a quantity. Okay? So it means our new quantity now is 20 minus our old quantity is what? 10. Divided by our old quantity is what? 10 times 100 over 1. Okay? So if that's the case, we have 20 minus 10 will give us 10 over 10 times 100 over 1. Now, 10 over 10 times 100 over 1 will give us what we call 100%. Because this cancels this, we are left with 100. So that's 100%. Okay, so our answer will be percent because it's what? Percentage. So it's 101%. That's for quantity. Now, you come to income. It said, given that the income of Mr. Dantani increased from 2,000 to 5,000 naira. Okay, so it said increases from total. That the new income is this, while the old income is this. So we have our new income, which is 5,000, minus our old income is what? 2,000. Divided by our old income is 2,000 times 100 over 1. So 5,000 minus 2,000 will give us 3,000 over 2,000 times 100 over 5. So this, if we do it, it will give us 150%. Okay? If you divide it, it will give us 150%. So percentage change in quantity divided is 100%. Percentage change in income is 150%. So let's substitute it into this. Remember, we solved for this, which is this. Solve for this. So we have to put them into the formula to get the income elasticity. So our income elasticity is now equal to percentage change in quantity demanded is 100%. That's 100% divided by percentage change in income is what? 150%. So 100% divided by 150%, you'll be left with 0.666, which is approximately 0.167. So that's the coefficient of income elasticity or demand. Okay? And the next one said, what is the nature of the elasticity in A above? The nature. What nature of elasticity is this? It is inelastic. Okay? It is inelastic because it is greater than 0, but what? Less than 1. Okay? We have three aspects on nature of elasticity in terms of interpreting the result. The first one is elastic. When we say a demand is elastic, it means the elasticity is greater than 1. The second one is inelastic. When we say it is inelastic, it means it is greater than 0 but less than 1. Okay? It's greater than 0 but what? Less than 1. Then when we say it is unitary or unity elasticity, it means elasticity is equal to 1. Okay? So you should know that. So that's the second one, it is inelastic. Okay, so write it is inelastic. The next one said, what kind of good is milk to Mr. Dantani? Now we have different type of milk. We have different type of goods. We have the normal good, we have the luxury good, we have the necessity. Okay? But the type of good that milk is to Mr. Dantani is determined by this. Okay? For normal goods are those goods in which the consumption increases as your income increases. We call that normal goods. And it exists when this elasticity is greater than 0. Okay? Okay? When this elasticity is what? Greater than 0. We call that what? The normal goods. So in this now, the kind of good that milk is to Mr. Dantani is called a normal goods. So we say it is a normal goods. Okay? So as I said earlier, we have different types. We have the necessity, luxury, and what? Inferior goods. So this is the normal goods. Why? Because the normal goods are those goods in which their consumption increases as income increases. You can check it here. As its income increases from 2,000 to 5,000, it increases expenditure or its demand from 10 to 20. Okay, and also the elasticity is greater than 0. That's for normal goods in terms of income elasticity. Okay, The next one says state 4 factors that affect change in demand. Now, in economics, we have what we call change in quantity demanded and change in demand. Now, change in quantity demanded refers to the movement from one point to another on a demand curve. And change in quantity demanded is caused by price alone. But change in demand is where, also known as shift in demand, is where a demand curve moves to an entirely new position. It means that at old or new price, the consumer either buy more or less. Okay. Now the change in demand is caused by other factors affecting demand except price. Notice, change in quantity demanded is caused by price alone. Why change in demand is caused by other factors affecting demand except price. Okay. Now you have to ask yourself, what are the factors that affect demand? Because we said the change in demand. Factors that affect change in demand are those factors that affect demand except the price of the commodity itself. Okay? Now, the factors that affect change in demand, one of it is price of other commodities. Not price of the commodity itself, price of substitute commodity. That is one. 2, advertisement. Okay? 3, taste and preference of the consumer. 4, the weather and climate condition. Okay, these are some of the factors that affect change in the demand, and also the income of the consumer. Okay, so these are factors that affect change in demand. Okay, we have listed 4: the income of the consumer, the price of substitute commodity, the taste and preference of the consumer, advertising, weather and climate, and all that. Okay, so that is the second question of Neco 2021. Okay, so I'll advise you to ensure that you study hard and also ensure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The King's Tutor. We are on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok. Just find us in this platform. We teach all these things, okay? So that you don't miss out. Okay? Now let's see the next question.